NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck your attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst your legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in freefall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, and a smiling, friendly face on the other end. Who the fuck are you, and what do you do?
Hello, my name is Dani Roman. I'm a professional skydiver.
Damn, dude, since the last time we talked, you have pulled off some shit that's just been blowing me away. I've been fucking floored with what I'm watching. So to say you're just a skydiver is kind of underselling yourself a little bit.
Man, been a good time. It's been a good year because we saw each other a year ago, I think, a year and a half ago.
I think it was
a lot of things going on for sure.
Yeah, I think a year and a half, maybe even close to 2 years. Because the last time we talked, the last really big thing that you had done was the volcano jump, was what we talked about quite a lot.
Yes, I was filming Seva for the volcano. That was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been quite a while. So what we'll do before we dive into all the stuff that you've been up to is kind of take, for any listeners that didn't hear you the first time around, we'll kind of give a reintroduction. So how did you get started in skydiving, base jumping, anything extreme?
Yeah, so I started skydiving with 18. With 18, I did my FF, but skydiving was always an obsession. Flying was always an obsession for me since I was a kid. Everything that fly, like planes, paragliding, paramotor, radio control planes, was catching my attention a lot. And I remember since I was 12 or 11 or something like that, I was just saying that I wanted to be a skydiver.
Wow.
And yes.
Did you have family that was in it, or did you know
Nobody. I don't have a skydiving family.
I mean, that's kind of
And
was it movies or something that interested you? Because that's kind of a random thing for a kid that age to latch onto if it's not in their
yeah,
face.
I don't really know where it came from. Like probably from some movies or some videos. Like I was really passionate about everything that was flying. I wanted to also be a pilot. So, but yeah, at the age of 11 or 12, like my main goal was to be a skydiver, no?
Nice.
And then
Now,
with 18-year-old, I got to do my IFF.
you're 12, 13, 14 years old growing up. I'm assuming that you voiced this desire to your family. What did they think of it?
Yeah. They were obviously, I'm from a little town in Spain, a really small town, and I was like, what? That's not a way of living. Like, what is that? That's military thing, you have to go to the military, and that's for the military, and that's it. No, like, it was not a way of living for them, no, like it's normal, no, a super small town. That's not, or for
Not
normal
traditional.
people, it's not a traditional job, no, not a traditional way of living, no. So it was like something that, yeah, all right, you find your job, you do your career, and then you can have the hobby that you want, no, for sure. Huh? But at the,
That's what I would expect from a traditional family in a small village like that or small town like that, is to be like, no, sort out your life and then you can go jump out of a fucking airplane. But
exactly, yeah, exactly. So it was exactly like that. And I remember when I was like 17, I got a summer job. And with the money that I saved in that summer job, I went straight to the skydive to the drop zone, to skydive Ligio, same drop zone that was Pablo Hernandez, a bunch of people that is in Dubai now, and that they are up there. They were working there, and I did the IFF there. And as soon as I did the IFF, I was like, man, fuck, I want to dedicate my life to this. I love this shit. I want to do this every single day. So
and
as
that's at
soon as I did,
18.
that was 18, yes. Yes. So
Man,
actually I left there. I was doing a degree in sports, and I was like the studies for sports, and I basically left everything and started working in the drop zone. So I was working in the office and in the manifest.
really?
So I work, yes, yeah.
That's a
Yes,
tough
so
way
I
to get to
work,
know the sport, man.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Manifest, it's not an easy job, huh?
No. I've
It's
I've
definitely not.
I've long said I think it's probably the hardest job on a drop zone because they got to put up with us.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just putting up with the jumpers. They got to put up with the asshole pilots like me. They got to put up with packers. They all and customers. Holy shit, man! There's no
Yeah,
way I could do
definitely.
that job.
You have to deal with a lot of people, a lot of patience, for sure.
Yeah, man. I
At the
remember.
age of 18, it's not easy. Sure, no.
Absolutely. I remember I was standing at the manifest window at the desert in Dubai, and the customers would just keep coming up to manifest and asking stupid questions. And they'd ask this one girl, she kept coming up and asking the same question. And they're like, we'll call you, we'll call you, we'll call you, we'll call you for whatever the
Yeah.
question was. And she walked up again as I was standing there chatting with them, and she starts to talk. And I just leaned over and slammed the window in her face. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
No, for sure. Like people don't realize, but it's like, yeah, I want to ask two questions, but yeah, it's another 50 people asking another two, three questions, no? So for the manifest, for sure, it's a super hard job. So
Yeah, which is
yeah.
why every time they'd rip into me for getting mouthy, I'm like, oh yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
But yeah, it
started,
was a good time. It was a good time. It was a good learning for sure. I was in the manifest for like 7 months, 8 months. So I didn't do it that much because we got a really fucking good deal when I was working there. So salary was low, was enough, was good for me, 18-year-old. The only thing that I wanted to jump, and they let me jump. So the rule that they have in that drop zone was like, if it's a space on the plane, why not let the staff go up and jump?
nice.
So, man, like the first year, I think I did 700 jumps, just
Your
fun
first
jumps.
year.
Yeah, the first year I did like 700 just fun jumps, working at the drop zone. And
You you
yeah,
did more fun jumps your first year than I think I've got total.
yeah, man. Man, I was super lucky, super thankful, super grateful for that drop zone, because like in 1 year I did that amount of jump that is any other way I could have done it.
Sure.
And then after that year, I started to do tandem videos. So I did tandem videos. After that, I did the IFF, and then I did tandem master. So I worked in that drop zone for, I think, a bit more than 2 years. 2 years, yeah.
So from manifest to video to tandem instruction and all this stuff at a drop zone that's also bringing up the likes of Mr. Hernandez. I mean, there's some talent at that drop zone.
Was a really good drop zone. Was huge. They have a couple of planes. They have a Caravan. They have they have a Caravan. They have two Pilatus.
Mm.
And man, it was amazing. It was super cool people. Really good environment. No drama. They have a soup pond. It was huge. The landing. It was a beautiful place. It was barbecues every day.
Nice.
I remember with a lot of love that time. I enjoyed it a lot for sure.
So now you've got the family that's asked you to, get a traditional life, and then you can go do your extracurricular stuff after.
Yeah.
But by this point, they must have known he's not doing what we're asking. I mean, were they giving you shit for it?
No, they were super happy that I make true my dream. No, like I wanted to dedicate myself to skydiving, to be an instructor and to jump every day. And they saw that I got it. I was making a living from it. So they were super happy for sure.
Was there a plan before skydiving entered the picture? Like, I'm going to be this when I grow up, or I'm going to be that, or?
Not super clear. So pilot was always something that was on my mind.
Nice.
I wanted to be a mountain guide also. So I was doing started the study for mountain guide.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You kind of combine those.
Yeah, so now it's combined. Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of both. Huh?
You're just a mountain guide on the way down really fast.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
I think it meet in some point for sure. Huh?
So bring us forward, as obviously now you've become a professional skydiver, you're working in the industry, but you decide, was it other drop zones that were drawing you to different locations, or was it other opportunities that got you to start traveling around?
So I was working in Lijo for a couple of years. And then I remember in one trip, some of the workers there, some of my teammates, the instructors, they left on a trip to Maldives. And when they came back, they have stopped over in Middle East in Dubai when everything was starting.
Ooh.
And they all got offered a job. So they basically, all my friends came back, all my teammates, that we jumped together, we hang out. They came back from the trip and they're like, all right, man, we're getting the fuck out of here. We're going to Dubai. And I was like, man, what? What you guys going where? What's going on? Where is that? And then they basically explain us that it's a drop zone that was starting, that it was gonna grow, that they could jump, that they could do this, So basically, after a couple of months, everyone left, and I stayed in Lijo. But I always I really wanted to go there, because the sport was growing there. It was a huge opportunity. But I was 20-year old, so I was 20. I couldn't speak any English at all. Not much experience, so I tried to get in there. I tried to contact the drop zone. I tried to contact everyone there, but was no way to get there. No, and got in contact with the tunnel. I never flew in the tunnel, but I got in contact with the manager of the tunnel inside Dubai that was about to build, and basically they needed people, but the same answer, no, you are 20-year-old, you don't speak English,
right?
I'm sorry, And then, as I told you before, was like, all right, I'm still gonna go there. I want to go to Dubai and then just try. I'm gonna quit my job, go there for 2 months, and then just see if I get something.
Sure.
And 2 months pass. I'm in the airport to go to Dubai, and I get an email from the manager of the tunnel. If it's true, you're coming here tomorrow. You had a meeting with me. And you have a meeting for the job. And I was like, fuck, amazing, fuck yeah, And I remember getting to Dubai and met with Pablo, and I couldn't speak any English at all, completely nothing, So I was like, all right, we have to do something, I have a meeting tomorrow with a guy that speaks only English. I have no idea about English, so let's, have to show me a bit, teach me something,
Right.
So I remember that we went for some drinks that night, and yeah, it was just a typical thing, Yeah, how are you? Do you reply this? When he tells you this, you reply that, and it's like, fuck, But as I said, so useless, So as soon as we got to the meeting, we sit there on a table, and was this guy that started to speak, was Scottish. And then Basil started to speak, and I have no idea what he was saying, not even one word. But basically, the easiest way to describe is I got a job just saying okay. I didn't even know to what I was saying okay, but I said a lot of okays. And yeah, I got the job. I remember when the interview stopped, like Pablo was sitting, not with us on the table, was sitting next to us, but he could hear everything, you know? And at one point, he was like, man, he gave you the job because I was just saying, okay, you know? I have no idea that the interview was finished, you know? And yeah, super happy.
That's
super
fucking
lucky.
funny. You got the job.
Yeah.
Okay. When do you start?
So, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
The guy must be thinking, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, no? Like, everything is okay. I have no idea what the...
Well, and that really was, I mean, the golden times in Dubai, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's back when if you were associated with Skydive Dubai or the tunnel in any way, you kind of you had the golden ticket.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super grateful for that time and for that opportunity and do that step and just go in there to try, because when we got the opportunity to start working there was insane. Like I remember we finished the course, the instructor course, or I didn't really know what was my job. So I remember with Madman, I used to live with Madman thing. And I remember we used to wake up in the morning, we go do a couple of jumps. We do a couple of jumps in the morning and then go to the tunnel. And we could fly because our job was to train to become a good instructor. So we could fly like 6, 7, 8 hours, no coach. You know, I remember just leaning on the net, you know, it's like, man, I'm done. I gotta fly anymore, you know, destroy, you know. So
yep.
But yeah, it was a really good learning for like 8 months or something. We fly as much as we could until they opened the big tunnel.
I was gonna say, was that the in-flight tunnel that you were in, or was that the private tunnel?
So we were in the private tunnel in the beginning because in-flight Dubai, the big one, was closed.
Okay.
Building.
I remember because I came after you'd been there for a while, and but when the staff still had tunnel time, free tunnel time, as much as they wanted, you just had to be on the list or whatever. And I remember going to the compound where the private tunnel was, the royal family wind tunnel, and pulling up to the gate. And I think it was Alan that told me, yeah, you just pull up to the gate and just tell them you're with Skydive Dubai and they'll let you in. And I'm like, bullshit, no way. And I'll never forget pulling up to that gate the first time. Skydive Dubai. Gate opens up.
Yeah.
You go up into the tunnel. There's sandwiches and little treats and drinks laid out. Yeah. And they flew me until I fucking called uncle and said, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, man, it was insane, no? Like things that was happening there was completely crazy, no? Especially like we coming from a normal skydive industry and you are used to everything is expensive. Every jump that you do, you have to count it and see if you can do it, you know, it's expensive and this and that. And there it was just, all right, just get in the tunnel and get out when you're tired, you know, it's all good.
I legitimately believe that the tunnel in Dubai helped to jump the sport, at least of indoor skydiving, forward leaps and bounds. Like I truly believe that Skydive Dubai is why tunnel flying is as incredible now as it is, because you had so many people like you that were just thrown in a tunnel and figure everything out, and you guys fucking did.
Yeah, it was super lucky. But yeah, they give us a huge opportunity, and I think for sure Skydive Dubai was giving a huge opportunity to so many people, like all the teams, like all the Nexus, the Belly, like all the Wingsuit team, like they help a lot to all the sport worldwide, no? Like they basically push the sport in so many disciplines, no?
Well, we got to go do so much silly shit.
For sure. It's just they give us a white paper to just try whatever. For sure, it was amazing.
I remember flying Mach 2 up one day, and they were jumping instead of flying in the tunnel one day, and they had all these bungee cords in the back of the plane, and it's just Mach 2. I'm flying it up an otter, so I got like 5 or 6 people in a twin otter. You know, climbing at 2,000 foot a minute. And I look in the mirror and it's just a bunch of guys stretching bungee cords with handles out. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Yeah. Experimenting. And the next, they just roll out and they're just yanking each other around the sky with bungee cords.
Yeah. I remember Pablo was crazy about that, about the bungees. And hey, man, the bungees, the new shit, man, we love this. You know, and we're doing a bunch of them. It was super funny, yeah.
So You get to Dubai. Obviously, you've learned how to speak English in the meantime. You're flying your ass off, and
Man,
it's
I live with Mad Mountain, so definitely have to learn to speak English for sure.
which I'm trying to figure out how you don't have the most outrageous Australian accent if you were living with Munting of all people.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people couldn't really. You remember how he used to like make up words, and then all these expressions. It's funny because I lived with him for a long time, and I could understand him better than a person that would talk like a British or something. They would talk perfect English, I could understand Matt completely perfect.
Well, I think half
So,
of when Matt Munting spoke, it was almost body language more than anything, because that man couldn't sit still to tell a story.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we're funny.
So, with all of this experience, obviously, this led to a great career there in Dubai, but you're not tied down to a drop zone anymore because you've been now with Red Bull for how long? I mean, quite
Yeah.
some time.
I think obviously thanks to all the steps, like all the behind for sure, like the opportunity I got on Nilio, the big opportunity I got in Dubai that I flew so much, and then also I got to jump a lot and jump and learn from so many amazing people. And then when I left Dubai, I think I left 2017. I think I left, and then I started working in different drop zones. So I was working at in Norway. I've been working in Spain. I've been working in different drop zones, and I'm basically working as a tandem. I've been doing tandem. I've been doing FF. I've been doing camera, and
Mm.
also been doing some different projects. So I remember some opportunities that I got. For example, in Norway, I got into the Team One call for a couple of summers. So I got to do some really cool projects with the wingsuit, XRW in the mountains. So I've been doing some things like that, and then been working on been working on different projects like that one. And then one day I remember I got a email from Red Bull, and then I got an email from Red Bull, and for a video that I posted got viral, and they kind of found out my background that I was competing in the tunnel, because when I was in Dubai the previous year we were doing four-way dynamic competitions,
Mm.
and they were pretty good though. We did pretty well. And then obviously Red Bull found out the background of the tunnel, and then I was involved now into wingsuiting and doing different projects in different locations. And basically they asked me if I wanted to have a meeting with them. So I have a meeting with them, and I remember going to the meeting, and like everything that they explain you, because you see it as and you see it's super hard, no? Like when you see a meeting to become a Red Bull athlete, like it's a long process and looks super hard. And it
Mm.
is hard for sure. But when I came out of the meeting, I was like, man, it's no way this is going to happen, like it's not. But I kept doing my thing, I remember I didn't even have social media, no Instagram, no nothing, I was just doing my things, and that's it. So basically in that meeting, it's like, man, we want someone in Spain, that is in the tunnel, that does demo jumps, that is been doing wingsuit, that is in this sport. And basically, I kept doing my thing, and I started to post a bit. And 2 years after the first meeting, I got the contract with Red Bull. Yeah,
I mean, those guys do their research, right? They've got people everywhere watching out for
yeah, for sure.
what's the next
Yeah,
thing, what's the next person going to that
yeah,
next level. It's
yeah.
crazy.
They have an amazing crew. And they obviously support the people also because in the beginning when I started with Red Bull, I was not doing that great, like that many things with the wingsuit. I was more into free flying.
Sure.
But I was in the process to change a bit the sport of being more motivated to wingsuit, and I find it amazing and grateful that they support that transition, no? Because when I started, I was into free flying, and then they support me to get into the wingsuit that it was motivating me in that time. Yeah,
Sure.
it's an amazing crew.
I think I'm not sure if it was Matt or Nick, but it was on one of the times that I had them on that I asked how they were able to push this level of wingsuiting so far. And they both said the same thing, which was it was their skill in free flying that made a
Yeah.
lot of the modern wingsuit flying possible. Do you agree with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I agree 100% for sure. I think was a big change into wingsuiting when Noah Banson, Micah, Julian, with all these guys going into wingsuiting because of their background free flying, no? Because basically wingsuiting is the same as free flying, just with more power.
Sure.
But if you know how to fly carve head down without the wingsuit, you just have to adapt it to the wingsuit, you know, but it's not gonna take long. So I think if someone is a good free flyer, is gonna have a quick transition to wingsuiting, and it's gonna transition. It's gonna be quick, the progress for sure.
I remember one of the only jumps I got to do with some of those guys. I got to jump with Micah, and I forget who was flying the other wingsuit. And all they wanted me to do was jump out, get on my head, and go straight down. That's it. So I'm just like I'm flying in the tunnel. My legs are out like a shelf. My arms are straight, and I'm just looking straight forward, and it's just wingsuits fucking zipping around me. And it was the most amazing thing because I was just a fly on the wall watching these guys. And this must have been 6 or 7 years ago. And what you guys have done, even in that amount of time, to forward that part of the sport is insane.
I remember when they were doing when they have the wingsuit team, no? I remember seeing the flying that they did through the buildings, you know, and all the free flying, and I was like, man, I want that. Like, I remember I was working in the tunnel when that happened, no? And I was like, man, I want that thing for sure. I want to do that.
Absolutely, dude. Every time they would get on board the plane, I was, especially at the Palm, I was stoked because I knew they were going to go do something. But especially when one of them, usually Micah, would poke his head into the cockpit and go, "Hey, can you take us a little further this way or a little further that way, a little fucking deeper, or a little more over the buildings?" Oh, it was so cool. And then I think it was Joe Keffer, who you know from Dubai, was flying all those loads when the wingsuit team were deep into the buildings, flying through the marina in Dubai.
The vertical maze was called, no? Amazing, no? What a video.
Yeah, man, just incredible stuff. But I mean, you've kind of taken it next level as well. I mean, especially when you got with Red Bull, you really started stepping it up. And like I said, the last thing that you and I talked about was the volcano project.
Yes.
But man,
I got to film Seba on the volcano,
which was insane. I mean, who the fuck flies into a volcano? You know?
Yeah, that was insane to watch. That was a super cool jump. Amazing to watch it. Yeah.
It had to be. But I mean, so we talked pre-podcast, and I made a comment to you. You did something that I personally think should have broken the fucking internet. And I can't believe that it didn't. I mean, it got a lot of attention, but I can't believe it didn't get so much more. You flew under your landing area, flared, and turned around and landed above where you were in free fall to.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people was thinking about and see if it was possible, because it's a pretty cool thing, no? Like the suits that we have, that you actually can fly by a point, flare up, pull with all the altitude you lose on the pull, and then land back on the fly by point. And I was thinking it for a long, long time, but actually when I came to that place, was just to do a shooting with Horacio, and was to put 2 paragliders, and I just wanted to do a flyby between them. And we were there for a couple of days, you know, and I remember the first jump that we did, and I was like, man, you know, like, if we want to do that, because that was on the back of my head for a long time, like, if we want to do that, this is the place, no? For sure. And it's also helped a lot the place, you know, like in the place, it's a really good soaring spot. It's in Spain, it's in Organia. It's a really good soaring spot. So normally you get some, when you turn to the mountain, you have a lot of tailwind. So it helps you to come back to the landing for sure.
Sure.
But you still need to do a good flare, good pull without the slider for sure. So you have a good opening, and commit to the landing, no? So I was like, super happy it happened for sure.
I remember watching the video, and the first time I saw it, it didn't register. Like I saw it, I saw what you did, and I went, that was kind of cool. Wait a second. And then the gears started grinding a little bit. I'm like, he flew past the people filming, and wait a second. And I hit rewind and played it again. And I'm like, holy shit. He descended below his landing altitude. What the fuck? It floored me, dude. I can't believe that just didn't blow up the internet. Yeah,
it's amazing how the suits, like, they're developing, no? How how the technology or the developing of the suits is making the sport better, no, and
Give a
allowing you to do these things. Huh?
give a shout out to your suit manufacturer. Who is it?
The squirrel.
Of
Yeah.
course it is.
With the squirrel, yes.
Which suit was that for all the people that are going to go watch that video and aim towards getting a suit that can do that?
So that was a sea base. That was a sea race that I have. That basically it has a bit of a bigger inlet, so for base jumping, and but now it's called sea base. Yeah.
Sea base.
And it's what I use normally for base jumping. I normally use that one or a freak. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they've got so many out now. I mean, I see Squirrel puts out they do amazing jobs really promoting their gear and showing what they can do. And I see people using them for hardcore free flying and then the base jumping and all this stuff. And I know it's different suits, but I also don't jump them, so I know jack shit about the actual suits.
Yeah. So it's normally one of my favorite for sure is the freak. Like it's the acro suit, so you can do free flying, you can do everything on it. Like it's fast, like it's good for base jumping. It's a good overall suit for everything. And then now, for example, this summer I've been jumping a lot the sea base, and it's because we have China next week.
Nice.
So we want to have the competition. Super excited. Never been there, so super excited to jump there and to jump with those people and all the amazing people that's gonna be there. It's gonna be a cool trip.
Well, what a stunningly beautiful place to jump.
Yes, it looks amazing. Huh? It looks amazing. Never been there.
All the video I've seen is just jaw-droppingly beautiful. It looks like it was designed for base jumping.
Yeah, definitely.
It really does.
Super lucky to get there. Yeah.
So since the last time we talked, what are the projects that you've done that people may have seen or may not have seen?
Yeah. So for me, one of my personal goals, was the bridge, the Ronda Bridge in Malaga. And that's because that bridge is really close to my city.
Okay.
So I grew up close to it, and I've been seeing that bridge since I was a kid, And I remember thinking about it a long, long time ago, like to fly over it, to fly under, but I was like, it's no way, like for my skills or also for the suits, but it was not something that was possible, it was just like a dream, It's like, it's no way that can happen. And like a year and a half before the project, I started thinking a bit more about it, started training a bit of performance, and then basically it came back to my mind again. So I started to size everything, Google Earth. I spent there weeks measuring everything with a laser. So for me, was not only the project, was not only the jump, but all the process to get to it. So the skydives that I did, like with the GPS, is measuring everything that was possible to go through it and go to the landing, because it was like a canyon. So it's like 350-meter canyon. So you have to make it, you have to fly out to open in a safe place, no?
Sure.
And so all that process to get to that project, also the permits for a project, they are insanely hard. So you go to a town that is super small, 20,000 people, something like that. You go there and you tell them, like, yeah, well, I want to fly under your bridge. Like, you want to what? And just go. No, thanks, man. Get out of here. Get out of my office. No way. So it took me some time to convince them to let me do that project. And so the permits took a long time. And then also the training and yeah, it was like, when it happened, was a huge satisfaction, no? Like,
sure,
to work to do that for sure.
Well, now you talk about putting in a lot of the training and a lot of the skydiving that you've done. I've got a lot of people that listen that are lower time jumpers that think, oh, hey, I just want to learn how to fly a wingsuit, and as soon as I know how to fly a wingsuit out of a plane, I'm just going to base jump. But it sounds to me like, as a not just a professional but a Red Bull athlete, that you put a lot of your training into jumping out of airplanes as well.
I think it's the 95% of the time, or 98% of the time, is skydiving. And then, I mean, if we just talk about this project, for example, it was 3 jumps, the bridge. And then previous that, I did 200, 300 jumps, just practicing flare, practicing the speed, practicing for different situations, different conditions, different altitudes, because the density of the air. So definitely 98, 99% is skydiving, And not only wingsuit, because a lot of people is like 200 jumps, they start wingsuiting and then straight to base jump. But I think it's more important to free fly So you are comfortable in any position. You're comfortable head up, you're comfortable head down, you're comfortable in any position of flying. And then with the time, don't be on a rush. And then with the time, for sure, get into wingsuit and then wingsuit base if you feel the need for it. No, but
Sure.
I think free flying is super important. No?
I like that you said if you feel the need for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a really polite way of saying fucking think about it before you do this shit.
Yeah, of course. And definitely training for sure. Like not just 200 jumps is what we talk about right now. No, like not only 200 jumps and wingsuit. Like free flying is a big thing.
Yeah. Well, I love one of the things that I've been able to notice the progression of is in the wingsuit free flying videos that I've seen. It's more obvious when you're making the transition from just head down to on your back to on your belly. It's easier to see than it is if it's just a free flying video. And it's really cool to watch the incredible transitions because you guys are really doing a balancing act when you're on your head that it's just so easy to go one way or the other, and to carve back to front and around is it's incredible.
Yeah, so it's like free fly on asteroids pretty much, you know. So it's like every little move, like if you are head down, every little move that you do is gonna have a huge reaction, no?
Sure.
So if with free flying you push 20 centimeters with the arm, with the wingsuit you push 5 and it's gonna throw you around, no?
Sure.
So you have to be more sensitive with the move that you do.
Now at your level, do you still fuck yourselves up sometimes? And
oh, definitely, yeah, for sure. Like we I mean for new moves and all that, like now we do normally I train with Seba and definitely we train new moves and head down and out face and things like that, and sometimes you for sure you can mess it up, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So
sure.
are there any projects on the horizon that you're like super stoked about?
I'm really stoked now about next week China.
So for people
next
that don't
week,
know
China.
anything about it, tell them about the China and exactly what it entails.
Yeah, so China is a World Wingsuit League, and it's a race that Jeff Corley and James Bull, they've been organizing for a while. They stopped it for the last 4 years, but now they're restarting again. So basically, it's a wingsuit race, and it's 2 competitions. One is speed, and one is target. So in speed, you have a count on the exit, and it's basically like a ski race that you have the beep, beep, you have the beeps. And then you got the exit, you have a couple of points that you have to pass, and then you have a finish line. So basically it's a time race. And then another one is a target. So basically you're a human dart, pretty much. So they put you a target and you have to smash it with your head. So it's those 2 competitions.
The target one fucking blows my mind. I've watched some of the training videos of different competitors flying down somewhere in Europe. I would imagine it's Switzerland or something like that, or Norway. And it's insane. It's insane. Yeah. You're jumping off a cliff way up there, and there's a little square that puffs off a little color when you slam your head into it at what, 250 kilometers an hour?
Probably, yeah. I actually never did a target. I never smashed nothing with my head.
No?
No, I never did a target. So it's going to be the first time there. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, well, but for my own curiosity, where can people watch this? Like, is it going to be live streamed somewhere?
Yes, I think they're going to send us some links. So
awesome.
We're going to share it in the social media for sure.
Awesome. I'm going to have to make sure you and I keep in contact so I can spread that link all over the place. But more than anything, just
thank you.
So I can fucking watch it.
Yes.
So after all of this, you've gotten to this level. And of course, you said your family was excited for you when you were able to make a living out of it. And you're doing tandems and shooting video and doing what a lot of people now consider safe skydiving. But you're about to go to China and try and slam your head into a target. Like, what is what does the family think of this?
Actually, they don't know about the target. They don't know about the target. But it's been a while now, no? So they have full trust of what I do for sure, and they are happy that the path that I'm following and every trip and where the sport is taking me, no? Like it's taking me to meet some amazing people to meet some amazing places. Like last week, 2 weeks ago, I was in Kenya, for example, and the sport took me there.
Yeah.
Demo Jam took me there, and it made me meet. Like, I met so many amazing people, really amazing culture. Like the people there is really friendly and
Sure.
amazing. No? So like it takes you to so many places, and I feel super lucky of what I do, and yeah, all the trips that I get to do.
What's your top place so far, or do you have one?
I think it's hard to choose, huh?
Yeah.
Like Kenya was super nice. All Europe, like I was in Estonia a month ago. Also, I never been there before, so really cool. But it's hard to choose one place for sure. Like
Sure.
every place have a special thing that you love, and some things that you also don't like. But every place is special for sure, and every jam or demo jam that we do, something special. Huh?
Which is incredible. I mean, well, and especially because at the end of the day, with what we do, skydiving and base jumping are still pretty obscure, even though it's become very mainstream to have the Instagram videos, and you see skydiving and advertisements all over the place. Outside of skydiving, nobody knows who the fuck any of us are.
No.
None of us. Like, none of us are doing it for the fame.
No, of course not. Huh? We do it for the lifestyle, for the people we meet, and the lifestyle that we got is pretty good.
Yeah, man. Are you kidding me?
It's pretty fucking good, though. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, my career has ended up with me kicking my feet up in a beautiful place at the tip of a forest in fucking Finland because one day I went and decided to jump out of an airplane.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good path.
Yeah, for sure.
So long term, where do you see yourself? Obviously, we all know that joints and bones don't hold up as well because we beat the shit out of ourselves. So is there an end game for you? Are you thinking that far ahead yet?
So definitely it's always on my mind, but I mean, I want to keep doing what I do.
Yeah, you're a young guy.
And as long as my body allow it, and as soon as I have motivation for it, the motivation is super high right now. So as soon as I as long as I can, as the body holds and I'm motivated for it, I'm gonna keep going. Keep going for sure.
As a Red Bull athlete, do you do their training center stuff there and go get have them helping you out with physical therapy and all that shit?
Yeah, so I went once for like a week because they had an amazing set. I think they have two facilities, two other performance center, one in California, and they have one in Austria, and it's really good. Like when I was working, I work a bit in the Windsor Tunnel, and I was flying so much that I got kind of injured. Like I did 55 hours in 10 days. It was a lot of flying. I was coaching, it was a camp, I was flying for myself. So I was going beast mode and I got injured, and they helped me a lot with that. They give you really good exercise. They give you really good programs, rehabilitation. So it's a really good tool. Like Red Bull is an amazing partner that help you on good moments for sure. It help you on an amazing project, but also on the bad moment like that, they never let you down. No? They always help you out. So I feel super lucky with them.
In all the Red Bull athletes that I've talked to, that's the thing that's impressed me the most is not what they do for the athletes when you're kicking ass, but what they do for you guys if you get hurt or if you're not performing as well. They don't just bail on you, which is pretty fucking incredible for what started out as an energy drink that just gives me fucking heart palpitations.
Yeah, it's an amazing company. It's an amazing partner for us that help us definitely in immense amount of things, like to make, like, for example, the bridge or all these jams that I've been doing, like without them would be like, it's no way.
Sure.
It's impossible. And also on the bad moments, like you said, like as soon as you get injured, you have the best doctors, you're gonna have the best support from them. So it's amazing.
That's fantastic. So right now there's somebody listening to this episode that's just getting started out and all they want to do is be Dani Roman down the road. So how do they do that? How does a newer jumper that's just getting started, what should they be thinking about as they try and carve out a career that kind of mirrors yours?
I think for everyone for sure that wanna do a sport, wanna become like do on a high level or want to do something. I think just consistency, consistency, and I think it's no other trick. Consistency and have clear your goals and consistency for sure.
Well, and I would imagine too, you kind of obviously you had a bit of luck when it came to Dubai and being able to kind of have an accelerated training program, but it sounds to me like you took your time with everything that you've done and you've always gone back to your roots of skydiving in order to hone your skills to do shit like, go fly in China next week and all this stuff. So it sounds to me like you've also kept it consistent in your training as well.
I mean, it's a trick, huh? For sure. Like if we, like for example, I was working in the tunnel, in the Winchester tunnel for like nearly a year, and then I've been coaching there. I've been coaching there often. Like I kind of go like every month in the winter for like a week, and it's nice to see because I kind of got out of working there full time, and it's really nice to see how the sport grow. So I got out, and then a couple of instructors more came in, and you see in like a year and a half how the sport progress, and it's like, fuck, they're doing triple barrel roll, I can do 1.5, I can do 2, and it's really cool to see, and it's really motivating, no? So to see that and to see what other people is doing, like keeps you motivated to keep training and to do new things. And yeah, like training is for sure, it's the sport growing, so you have to grow with that.
Well, it's awesome too. Like from my perspective, I watched this insane progression throughout the years, and now, of course, watching this progression doesn't motivate me to go try it because all I look at is what you guys are doing and go, oh, it'd be in so much pain if I try and learn how to do what these guys are doing. But it's watching you guys kind of feed off of each other back and forth, and one guy does one thing and then it just kind of gets upped a little bit more. But it's also athletes like you that are pushing towards doing it the right way. I mean, you say you're going out and measuring everything, and you're talking about air density, and this is shit that skydivers didn't talk about before. I mean, it was get on the fucking plane and we'll go figure it out. And and now, especially at the level that you're at, to know that you're taking that kind of really full circle view of everything and really watching your ass as you're doing this stuff also makes what you're doing that much cooler because I know what's gone into it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think it's the way the sport is growing. It's growing in a more professional way. Like actually, I just came from the Dolomites, and I had 3 days of training for China because it's something I never really did that much, like the speed rounds and all that. So I wanted to learn from it. And was some guys that they've been doing a lot of speed rounds, and then they've been showing me how it changed with the conditions, like the air, we train a bit higher because here the air is less dense, so you can go faster. And if you jump in the morning, you have to dive a bit more because of this, so like, it's crazy the knowledge of every part of the sport, and it's really cool to put. I really enjoy to put the motivation, for example, on that. Like now I'm motivated now with that race, and I go to learn that. And when you put your motivation on something, it's crazy the amount of things that you learn, from other people.
Oh yeah, well, and the stuff that you guys are having to do. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You guys are pilots. You're just pilots of a stick and rudder aircraft, I mean, you are absolutely having to do all the same things that I, as a pilot sitting in the cockpit, have to do for planning a flight. You're just the aircraft as well as the pilot.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a pretty cool feeling, huh?
It's got to be. Again, no wingsuit stuff on this end, but I do know what it's like to get out of the airplanes.
Yeah, for sure.
So, for everybody listening, how do they follow you so that they can check on updates on how to check out what you do in China? Where do they go to see all the crazy shit that you've already done and all the stuff that's coming up? How do they follow Dani Roman?
So, where I'm more active is on Instagram. So Instagram, Dani Roman. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Just
Easy.
On Instagram. Yeah.
That
I post sometimes in YouTube, and normally where I'm more active is on Instagram.
Awesome. And you and I will keep in contact because I'm going to find out when or what the links are for the World Wingsuit League for China, because especially if it's live streamed, I want to be able to watch this.
I will send it to you for sure.
Oh, dude, that's fantastic. Dani, as always, an incredible pleasure sitting down to talk with you. I cannot thank you enough for wasting your time shooting the shit with me.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's good to see you.
All right, Dani, take care, man.
Take care, man.
See ya. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Get on the front, get on the front, get on